Welcome to our Client Advisor video training series. This video will focus on the basics of pat searching at alternatives. First, let's hear from Garrett, an in-charge CA at Alpha House, as he explains the importance of pat downs.
My name's Garrett Bauer. I'm an in-charge at Alpha House on swing shift. And pat downs are important because it keeps contraband out of the building. You're looking for anything when they come into the building that doesn't belong here, that can be smaller, easier to conceal, as opposed to it in a backpack or whatnot.
First, let's cover some pat search basics. All searches should be completed on a random and unannounced basis as a preventative measure against the introduction of contraband into the facilities. Each resident is to be pat searched at least twice per month, but staff may conduct additional pat downs based on suspicion. As always, be sure to inform your in-charge CA of any additional functions. In addition, a pat search should always be conducted prior to any UA collection, and anytime a resident moves back into a secure area at passages. Second-floor residents returning from recreation outside, for example, should each be pat searched before coming back onto the unit. Finally, it's important to know pat searches will only be performed by the same gender only. Female staff will never pat down male residents, and vice versa. Next, let's take a look at how to know if a resident has a pat search due in TOM. Like most other security procedures, first pull up the resident in TOM and go to their security dashboard under the security drop down in the main menu. Once in the dashboard, we can see that this resident has a few procedures due, but today we're focused on the PD, or pat down. As a reminder, the red arrow signifies that this function is due to be done in TOM. Now let's take a closer look at how to complete a pat search at alternatives. Let's observe CA Supervisor Adam perform a full pat search from start to finish. Then we will break this process down step by step. It's important to know that a pat search should be conducted in the same manner no matter the gender of the resident. Watch as Adam first puts on gloves, as this step is essential for all security procedures that involve any touch. Next, Adam searches this individual's hat and has them remove all excess clothing, as any amount of bulk can be a spot to hide contraband. All removed clothing should also be searched, as this is a common tactic used to hide contraband as well. When doing pat searches, it's best practice to let the resident verbally know where you intend to search next, as this is an effort to prevent them from feeling caught off guard or surprised. Adam then asks the individual if they have anything in their pockets. Using bladed hands, Adam starts at the top of the person, checking the collar and hair, then the shoulders and sides, followed by the length of the back. He then moves to the front of the individual, again verbally informing the resident each time he moves to a new location of the body. If the person identifies as female or is wearing a bra or swimsuit top, staff should never grab or grope the breast area. Instead, staff should use the bottom part of their bladed hands to run across the bottom of the bra line to feel for contraband. Later on, this video will cover what to do if you think contraband may be concealed in areas not directly felt during a pat search, inside a bra, for example. For the safety of yourself and the individuals in our care, it's important you not deviate from the techniques seen in this video. As Adam moves to the lower half of this individual, he searches the pockets and along the belt or pants line, as this is a very common hiding location for contraband. Next, he searches the entirety of each leg one at a time. Be very careful to not touch or brush against the person's genitals while performing a pat search. Staff are not to look inside or feel inside a person's clothing or underwear. It's important to balance thoroughness with respectfulness. After checking the bottoms of each pant leg to ensure nothing is hidden in the seams or rolled up, Adam then has this individual remove his shoes. He then searches the bottoms of each foot and sock before finally searching each shoe. Now that you've seen a pat search start to finish, let's slow it down a bit and look a few steps closer. Here are a few things to always remember while doing pat searches. Never do a pat search alone or where a camera cannot verify your actions. Again, you should also remember never to grope and to remain professional at all times during a pat search. Many of our individuals come from traumatic backgrounds, and we have an obligation to do what is in our power to make them feel safe while they are in our care. It's also best to pay close attention to behavior of a resident during a pat search and report any concerns to the in-charge CA. Now let's start at the top. If a resident has a hat, it should be removed and searched, But always keep a close eye on the resident during this time, as they can ditch contraband while you are distracted. Listen, as Adam explains how he searches hats.
Or a baseball cap, you should ask them to remove said hat. With the beanies, they normally fold upwards, so you want to check inside the hat. You'll notice you want to check inside the fold. Make sure nothing's tucked inside. For the baseball cap, it's slightly different. Check under the peak, make sure it's stitched and there's nothing tucked into the peak of the cap. They also have this fold inside here. So you would turn that fold up and check under here and make sure nothing is tucked underneath.
Long, big, or ponytailed hair must also be similarly searched, like this.
Go lift up the ponytail, just check underneath. If the hair has got a lot of volume to it, just put your hands in and just make sure there's nothing inside.
Listen to Adam as he explains his
Check
belt
inside
area
the belt.
search.
Again, be careful with putting your fingers inside and running your fingers around. You can pull this out and check inside the waistband. This way. And also when you're doing that, monitor down the legs again afterwards, just to make sure anything that was in there that may have dislodged hasn't dropped down to the bottom too.
After the hair and belt area are searched, you will move to the top of the person and work your way down. Starting at the shoulder, search each arm area, looking over the entirety of each section before moving on to another. After searching both arms, he searches the chest and stomach area. Let's watch and listen to Amanda as she demonstrates what this looks like on a female. Note sweatshirts should be removed and searched prior to any pat search. This sweater was left on for the video only.
Okay, Andrew, I'm going to come around and check your bra now, okay? I'm just going to come around the top. Do you have anything in your bra? No. Okay, I'm going to come around the strap here, and then I'm going to come around the front, okay? Okay.
After finishing both sides of the upper half, staff should then search the entirety of each leg as shown. Using bladed hands, like Adam in the video instructs, you work at the top of each leg to the bottom. Again, telling the resident as you search where you plan to go next to reduce their discomfort best and to not catch them off guard. After you search the sock areas and the bottoms of each foot, you should search the shoes. Let's listen as Adam walks us through this process.
For the shoe, I would lift up the tongue, make sure it's intact. There's no slices to see if anything could be inserted inside the tongue. Also, check the insoles. Some insoles you can buy from a store and put inside a shoe. You can buy shoes where they just come out. So make sure that that doesn't lift up and reveal a compartment underneath where people are keeping things in the sole of their shoe. Check down in the toes of the shoe. And also check the sole of the shoe. Make sure it's intact, glued down, and it doesn't lift up, or the toes don't lift back to reveal a compartment inside the shoe.
There are a few instances in which you will need help from the in-charge CA. If you have strong suspicion that something is hidden, but you are unable to locate it, you should notify your in-charge CA. It's important to note that you cannot perform any strip or cavity searches, nor should you make any mention of either around residents. If you come across what appears to be contraband, you should also reach out to your in-charge CA immediately for instructions on how to handle it. In addition, you can always reach out to your in-charge CA with general pat search questions or to get any clarification about the process. Thank you for taking the time to learn how to do pat searches at Alternatives. You will need to observe staff perform this in person a few times before attempting one yourself. You will also perform several under-experienced supervision to ensure you have the technique correct. With time, this routine security procedure will become quick and easy for you to perform and complete.